Welcome to EGO NetCast live streaming and future episode 131. So I will do a talk here about Yuletide, good life, and future plans for 2024. And I'll see here, starting out and see it saying live on air on YouTube. So I'll check that out. Yep. So now I hear myself here, and maybe that will get into the recording also. So great. And I did also promote it and announce it on Facebook and Instagram stories and my Facebook wall in order to announce it a bit. So I will try to do it pretty short and sweet here. And I have been a bit under the weather here, so I have a bit of a cough, so I will drink some tea here. Cheers. So, but I wanted to get back on track. The latest episode 130 was with Maria Rubia, artist, a music artist. That was during the spring this year. So I will, as I said, and at the end talk about the plans for 2024. Now I hear my voice here, so I will try to get through on another podcast in Swedish called Viktigt på riktigt, important for real, and what's important, what's really important, you could say, with by Karin Coach, co-host Karin Blad, master certified coach. She asked about the bonus material at the end of the episode and explaining about the word Yuletide. And in Swedish, we call it jul. And in English, nowadays, it's often called Christmas. And I have a podcast together with my co-host Blair called The Secular Foxhole, and I mentioned it to him a couple of times about the importance to point out the meaning of a word and so on. Now it's so used to say in English Christmas. But if you're a so-called non-believer or atheist or secular individual, and you hear the word Christmas, you could respond a bit and wonder about it. When it's important to know about the origin and the original source, the pagan source, and also how a tradition have been, and you could say the battle of the word. So I will include in the show notes about Yule and Yuletide and the log that you put in the fireplace, like a piece of wood, for example, a tree, like a Christmas tree. To joke about now again, Christmas, Xmas. So the Yuletide. So I often like to say Merry Yuletide in English to my friends, English-speaking friends. And in Swedish, it's jul. So where it's coming from. Talking about Christmas, Xmas, I will include also in the show notes an article by Dr. Leonard Peikoff talking about why it's important that Christmas is commercial. And for me, as a poor capitalist, in air quotes here, you understand the value that it is a commercial holiday, and it's also holiday about celebrating end of the year, and then with religion and others trying to force other things up on us, then it's important to understand is about commercialization and gift giving and celebration and good times and so on. So for myself, I will buy myself a gift here during Yuletide, a book by Dr. Peikoff and read by, I will take it as an audiobook on Audible because I have credits there. And it's about pets. So, and it's read by Jonathan Hoenig. And it's Dr. Peikoff and Ein, like in mine, Rand, about pets, importance about pets. And I'm a cat person, and I know Dr. Peikoff, he has a dog, and also Jonathan Hoenig has a dog. So it will be interesting to listen, read this book. And I got a notification about that, and I did a tweet or an X post, as they say now. Twitter is now called X. And there it was Scott Holleran that informed me about this new book, and he thanked Blair and myself, our work with the episode on Dr. Leonard Pico's birthday. So I will also include that in the show note. He also recently, in the section here, Good Life, in his newsletter, Autonomia, that I subscribe to. I'll talk about that in upcoming episodes, also about Substack and the subscription model and the value for value model and plans there, and how you could support fellow podcasters out there. So he had done a podcast. Substack has now a podcast feature, you could say, because you could subscribe to the RSS feed and have it in different podcast apps, not a Spotify app, but you could have it in Apple Podcasts, for example, Overcast and others. And if you know the RSS feed and you get it from a Substack where you subscribe to, and you could do that. So that was pretty neat. And there is posted an episode called 30 Years in the Press. And around 9-10 minutes into the episode, Scott is doing a shout out and mentioning my name, and fellow blogger Gus Van Horn, that we had done nice work there with podcasting and blogging and thoughtful comments about his work, and it was very inspirational and thought-provoking to listen to his career and his take on movie reviews. For the record, I am not a movie buff, so Scott Holleran's work with, like, as he mentioned, also Box Office Mojo, and then his at scottholleran.com and now on Substack. It's very valuable for me. So to go to a source where it's reliable and giving you inspiration and giving you a list for upcoming views of a movie, going to excuse me, the theater, or renting it, or watching it, streaming it online, so on. So I will check out that for next year, his recommendations again, and see what I could watch for during next year. So I will see here the time, around 9-10 minutes. I will try to have it within 15 minutes. I will take another sip of tea here. Cheers. So the plans for 2024. And I will do to joke here. I will do unbottling my Christmas shirt, you could say, and under it I have a T-shirt, and that's like related to, and here it's saying EGO blog, egoist.blogspot.com. That was my first blog in 2002 on Google's blog platform, but back in the day it was owned by a small private company, and I was a premium customer there on Blogspot, on Blogger. So my plan is to update that blog a bit more, and then I have a plan to do like a daily short reading from Ayn Rand lexicon about words, concepts, philosophical ideas. So doing that every day, and then over a year it will be then several hundreds of short episodes. So being podcasting, my first podcast since 2006, then it will come up in an amount that if I would done it on a regular basis as a new media advisor, that will catch on maybe. And also for search engine optimization, but also giving me some maybe new contacts, interests, and one thing could lead to another. For example, podcast The Secular Foxhole with my co-host Blair. So that's one thing that I'm planning, and also continue with is to play with words. Tempest in a teapot, or Thor's thunder. Now I will showing here on the video on the camera. Play toy plastic Thor Marvel. I think it's called, yeah, Marvel hammer. Mjolnir is the name of hammer, Thor's hammer. So I will use this on Thursdays. I'm doing some ventilating about an issue, a topic. It could be politics, it could be in the news, etc. And then ask if it's really an important issue, or is it a tempest in a teapot or storm in a teacup? And in Swedish, you say storm in a water glass. So with that, thanks for watching here live, and then in replay when it's recorded, and then this episode 131 will be editing now during the day by yours truly, and then post-production and show notes, and then I will publish it on a podcast hosting place, Captivate, during the day. So with that, I will say cheerio, and talk to you soon again. Bye for now. Cheers. Here I will, as I end up, show my notes for this episode. Pencil. I will do a photo on Instagram promoting this upcoming episode. Bye for now.